right, so now that we have found the number of grams in 1 mole of barium phosphate, let's do something with that information. So our first example says, what is the mass of 1.33 moles of barium phosphate? So the first thing you should write down is what is my known and what is my unknown? What am I trying to find? So here we go, moles of barium phosphate. This is my known, and the mass, this is what I am trying to find. So that is my unknown. So I want to write down my known is 1.33 moles barium-3 phosphate. My unknown is going to be the mass of barium-3 phosphate. And you could say mass of this, or what I like to do is I just like to put question mark and I'm looking for grams. So you can just put the word grams or just the symbol for grams. To me, in my brain, it makes it easier if I know what I'm looking for. So we're going to start with our known always. So we're going to start with 1.33 moles of barium-3 phosphate. I write it correctly. And I just put that over 1, because anything over itself is just itself. And I'm going to multiply it. I'm going to use this conversion factor that we just did in the preceding problem. 1 mole of this is equal to this many grams. So my choice is I can either have moles over grams, or I can flip it and have grams over moles. It's a conversion factor. It's the same thing over the same thing. You can do that mathematically. It's the same as saying 1 over 1 or 2 over 2. Same thing over same thing. So let's put it in. If I've got moles up top in the numerator, what's going to have to go down here in the bottom? Moles, because we want them to cancel out. 1 mole barium-3 phosphate is equal to 601.93 grams of barium-3 phosphate. I don't know why I chose such a difficult, long thing to have to write. All right, so here we go. What crosses out so far? My moles of barium phosphate with my moles of barium phosphate. What am I left with in the numerator? Oh, look, I'm left with grams of barium phosphate. What am I looking for? Grams of barium phosphate. If this is in the numerator at the end of my equation, I must have set it up correctly. Great way to self-check. So here we go. Get out your calculators and let's do this problem. 1.33 times 601.93 divided by 1. Do the math. You should get 800.5669 grams. Am I done there? Does anyone see a problem? How many sig figs were in this problem? 1, 2, 3. How many sig figs should be in my answer? 1, 2, 3. I look next door. It's a 5, so I round up. So my final answer should be 801 grams of barium phosphate. All right, let's go to the next example. All right, so here is our final practice problem before I turn you loose on your own to finish our classwork and homework for today. So here we go. We're going to go in this one, we're going to go from mass to moles. So let's see what we're starting with in this problem. How many, well, if I wrote all the words in here, how many moles are equal to 157.8 grams of, what is this compound called? Who remembers? First one, calcium. This one's chlorine. We substitute the ending for IDE, so calcium chloride. Is this an ionic compound? Yes, it is an ionic compound. How do you know? Calcium is over here and chloride is over here. They're on different sides of the staircases. Ionic compound. All right, that was a side note. That was a freebie for today. So calcium chloride. So let's look at some calcium chloride. What do we know? All right, we know we have 157.8 grams of this. What is our unknown? How many moles we have? So our known, 157.8 grams. CaCl2, our unknown is question mark is our moles of CaCl2. All right, so first we've got to go through and figure out how many grams are in 1 mole of calcium chloride. So before we can even start this, we know that this is how many we have in our experiment, but we have to know how many grams go into making 1 mole of calcium chloride. How do we do that? We head to our periodic table. How many calciums do we have? What do we have? We have 1 calcium. How many chlorides do we have? Chlorines do we have? We have 2 chlorines. So let's figure this out. 1 calcium times 40.07. And we have 2 chlorines, and our chlorines are 35.45. So we can multiply those out, and we've got, and actually, let me look at this one. Let's change this to a 0.8 if I'm rounding correctly. All right, let me just move this down for us. So 1.4008 is 40.08. 2 times 35.45 is 70.90. Is that right? Let's double check. 2 times 35.45 equals, yep, 70.9. All right, so now we can add these together to get our total weight, and we should be getting 110.98 grams equals, that is our 1 mole. 1 mole. Now I have my conversion factor. Now we can start this problem. So always start with your unknown, 157.8 grams of calcium chloride. We put it over 1 because it's in the numerator. We're going to make it a fraction. We can always put it over 1 because it is itself. Now I have to go from grams to moles. It wants to know how many moles. Moles should be in the top. We've got grams here. We have to get rid of it. It should go downstairs in the basement in the denominator. So we're going to put our moles here. 1 mole calcium chloride equals 110.98 grams of calcium chloride. So let's see if we can get everything canceled out. Grams of calcium chloride cancel with grams of calcium chloride. I have moles left. That's what I'm looking for. I'm in the right place. So let's get out our calculators and say 157.8 times 1, enter, divided by 110.98. And you should get 1.422 moles of calcium chloride. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm good on my sig figs. That is my final answer. All right, so at this point, you should be able to go ahead and do the worksheet called Molar Mass Worksheet on Schoology. It is due before class the next time we meet. So if you got any questions, I will be online for a little bit to help you out, and go ahead and get started.